Holy bejesus, what's up everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to CSGO News. My name is Jake, breaking down CSGO and gaming news here every single day. Thank you guys for subscribing and actually somehow watching my videos, because I know sometimes I can sound very weird and I probably drink too much coffee, but today is another great day to be a part of this scene, which apparently has news every single day. I feel like I see you guys way too much. Actually, breaking news as of this morning, I was only going to talk about G2 and their new roster. Lucky is out, Shox is now out, Hunter and Nexa have been signed, but breaking news as of a couple hours ago brought to us by Nell himself, they were signed for free. I was trying to rehearse how to start this video off, and my only thing I could actually come to my head was no. This is absolutely insane and could set a precedent for what we see so far of players just walking away from teams with these iffy contracts. Now, this actually was a slight translation by Nell, so some things could have been lost in that translation, but it will be linked down below for all of you guys. The future plans, first of all, for all of you crazy fans out there, apparently their coach Emmy might be joining the team as their IGL. They're still looking for a fifth player though, and potentially on top of that to replace Emmy as a coach would be Neil Murphy. I'm not sure how I feel about Emmy becoming the IGL and player of this team, because I don't know too much about his background. Neil Murphy, I love the guy, so congrats to him if that rumor is true. They're still looking for a fifth though, and they've still lost Nexa and Hunter, apparently not getting any money in return. We can only imagine how Antonio, the owner of Crazy, does feel about this. I had a feeling this would come around full circle, guys. We actually had Nell talking about this, hinting at the fact these contracts were suspicious. If not suspicious, they were questionable, and it seems that yes, Crazy will not be paid a single dollar, if that, a very low amount for these players. Next and Hunter now leaving the roster, a player that Antonio himself said was worth millions of dollars, he'll be getting $0 for. I feel utterly bad about this. And the articles say this could be a precedent for, of course, players walking away while still under contract. That could be true. The only two instances I do think about, besides the fact of Winstrike signing those players from QBF, they kind of just took them. So there certainly have been questionable contracts in the past. We look back towards Cirque. Yes, Cirque in the Outlaw days, that was a questionable contract. We look back towards Poison, I believe before he was actually signed to Wendigo from B-Pro, also questionable contracts. If you guys want an individual video on these questionable contract exchange of players, I will certainly overview these now, 4 instances individually as well. It's insane. This might not be precedent for players walking away from a team under contract, but either way, this is stunning news out there. G2 Ocelot has done it yet again, and this does mark the first time ever G2 will now be an international mixed team speaking English, and they did it for the lowest price you can ever imagine. What a steal. Credit where credit is due. G2, good job. I just feel so I don't know why I feel guilty for Antonio. And very lastly in this as well, guys, apparently according to the article, yes, the remaining players on this roster, they are under the same contracts that Hunter and Nexa were. For the love of God, Crazy, sign some new contracts. And a quick intermission for all you French fans out there. I just want to make the statement now, and I'll probably come back on this sometime in the future. I want to stick to the fact that the French CSGO scene is certainly very shaky. What's happened in the last year and a half? LDLC has gone away and now come back with a shaky roster who's only won 25% of their matches. Alongside that, Envious is no longer a French organization. They've obviously gone to North America. We also have Vitality and their coach now confirming this will be the last French-speaking roster for Vitality ever, and the players do know that. They will eventually go to an international mixed team like that of G2 already has. I will stick to this statement, guys, and probably have a video on this sometime soon. The French CSGO scene as we know it is pretty much done. And man, oh man, I am so far behind on this news. If you guys do not follow the channel, I cover CSGO every single day, but for some odd reason over the past month and a half, I really can't even keep up with it, which is saying something because I upload CSGO videos about as frequently as anyone out there. This is actually breaking news as of last Friday, again brought to us by Decay. Article linked down below for all of you guys. If you want to support him, please do give it a read through because it's a great article out there. This being some of the most hyped up news we have seen, and I almost can't even say that anymore because we've seen so much hyped up news. That being 100 Thieves, already confirmed coming back to CSGO, alongside that of 3 or 4 other teams out there. So available talent, it's stretched very thin. We all know that, guys. The Optic roster is still available. They're going to show up hopefully pretty well at DreamHack Malmo. We have Lazarus. Those are the only really full teams out there, except XLG, I believe, is also available. So if you want to sign a brand new team that's going to be top tier, though, a top tier team, is there even enough free agents to actually make it possible? Well, there certainly are 2 that that apparently 100 Thieves, according to Decay, has some interest in, and they want to team together, apparently been talking together, that being Aleksib from ENCE and NBK from Vitality. And just when I saw that, oh my goodness gracious, Guys, I hype up teams a lot, but I also talk down about a lot of rosters as well. This is certainly a roster, if they could actually have enough high tier and high power free agents around these two and no communication issues, and we're going to assume that Aleksib will take the IGL reins, and NBK, ever since they handed those off to Alex, he's, in my opinion, been fragging so much better over the last year. I really do think a really great improvement for him. I'm still surprised that Vitality was so set in stone to replace the guy. If you can have a high tier group of people and talent around those two players, that roster certainly has potential. The issue does come, though, because with other free agents out there, they might be looking towards, if they're looking towards NBK and Aleksib, maybe a Scream. He's just been benched by GamerLegion. We'll talk about it in a minute here. Maybe Kiyoshima. He's free to pick up as well. And so those are kind of French players you might look at, but also French players people highly doubt in terms of being top tier. I personally would much rather, as of right now, have a Kiyoshima than a Scream, but either way, there are available talent out there. The question is, can you bring in a Finn and a Frenchman and build around them? 100 Thieves might be, and if they do, holy frick. And speaking of Scream and GamerLegion, guys, some breaking news as of yesterday and last night out there. Some news I'm very saddened by, that being the benching of both HS and Scream from the roster. Let's first touch on the not so sad news, that being Scream will maintain himself inside the organization as a streamer. I think this really shows, in my opinion, I'm not trying to be mean to the guy, but this has been a long time coming, a talk about him. I think him retaining his role as a streamer inside the organization really goes to show where he is at currently right now in CSGO. And I do have hopes that a team like 100 Thieves, or maybe another team like Dignitas, or someone will take a risk on the guy and prop him back up to what he might become. I do have hopes for Scream. You know, I'm not trying to talk down about the guy. I really have hyped him up as a possibility for quite some time, and it's been over the past year and a half where I've done this, and just nothing has happened. Nothing has come to fruition for him, so I do think there's still a chance for him to come back, but once he does come back to an actual team, he will have to show up to maintain his role on that team, which he has not done, even for GamerLegion, which he pretty much did start alongside the likes of Drake and HS, and now two of them are gone. So alongside that, HS has also been benched, coinciding with his incident, his motorbike incident where he was actually put out. His shoulder has been dislocated. He also has leg damage as well. Recovery for that could be at least a couple of months. So that seems very coincidentally timed. Apparently, he did not see this coming as well, as he has been benched yet again from a promising project, and we'll see where this does go and if he can actually recover and bring himself back into another CSGO roster out there. With that, though, they now have signed Rusty to the roster. If you guys have not seen our video about this, GamerLegion has been trying out 6 or 7 different players, alongside Rusty being one of them. He has now been joined to this roster, who we don't really know who this roster fully is quite yet, but we'll see what GamerLegion does in the future, guys. HS and Scream have now been benched. We'll see if any other organizations out there see promise in them, and they could potentially still be signed. And very lastly, for all you CSGO fans out there, yes, there will be an episode probably every single day this week. If you guys want to come back, I usually upload around the same time every single day. There is plenty of news out there. There might be a double upload yet to come this week on top of that. So especially for all you NRG fans out there, I'll come back sometime soon. I'll have a video on them individually. But very lastly, guys, the S1mple Graffiti is not going away. We were actually scared about this. Of course, it was showcased at ESL New York. I'm still hyped up. I'm very excited. The changes are not that drastic, but I'm also just excited to see a brand new map out there, competitive play. Eventually, it will replace something out there. I asked you guys yesterday what you think it will replace. I think a lot of you guys were wanting Vertigo, or were leaning towards Mirage as a replacement map for this, and overgrown this certainly the map is. S1mple did clarify, though, on his list of changes, number 1 was S1mple. So Volcano also touched on this a couple days back, guys, during that showcase. It will likely be re-added. People were freaking out that S1mple's Graffiti has been taken off the new reworked cache. It should be added back. So S1mple, you can earn another one, but it's probably going to stay on the map, which is great to see. I think, honestly, once you earn a graffiti on a map, whether that map changes or not, it changes graffiti a little bit, but come on, they earned it. Leave it there forever. Leave it as a blueprint for the historical precedents, big words, of CSGO. I got way too much news today to do a long outro. I hope you guys all enjoy. Have a great day, okay? Do something great. Goodbye.